Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and tell a friend. On the docket today, we have Married at First Sight, Australia, season 12, episodes 34 and no, 35 and 36. Oh my God. This is what happens when you shift days. Um, Jamal, you were saying these two episodes were lackluster, but I found them to be highly comedic.
I mean, there was moments. I mean, let's be honest. Like our usual suspects, like show they hold behinds, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But I'm saying in the overall context of the show, these two
Hmm.
episodes they weren't bad. They were you could just tell they were there just to get us to like final vows. There wasn't really anything shocking or earth shattering. And I'm sitting here asking myself, why do these characters act like this is all brand new information that happened? Like it makes no sense to me. Zero.
However, I do appreciate this final test, though. It
So do
it
I.
they should have done this final test at the beginning. I know it wouldn't have made any sense, but it would have like shattered and broken up a lot of these relationships a lot sooner.
Agreed. The final test, I'm sitting here like, well, yes, this is fantastic. I don't care how it sounds. It was great. And this truly was a test for some people. And they failed and crashed and burned, which was hilarious to me. But hey, but were we expecting anything else but crash and burns? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. Yes, you have no eyeballs because you have not been watching what's going on here. But that's hey, it's okay. You're
Yeah.
dumb.
Hi, Farmata. Hi, Marsha E. Yes, it's been crazy. We needed something. Well, y'all know my feelings on this season. It hasn't been the best, but I'm making do with what I have because it's still better than our maths. Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay. So let's start with episode 35. It is the second part of the final test. So in this episode, we're seeing the continuation of the breakdown of Paul and Karina, whatever her name is. We see Dave and Jamie, hilarious. Um, and Jackie and Ryan, and Athena and Adrien, right?
Right.
Oh my God. So it opens up with Karina and Paul still arguing. She throws him out of the apartment. She's being ultra dramatic. He still can't figure out what happened. Do you notice that? Well, I think that every time he's lying, he starts talking really, really fast with his French accent coming out more and more. Um, Paul is such a waste of time. So is Karina. But I think
Thank
that
you. I was gonna say that too.
they are setting up Paul to boost Karina
Right.
because I don't understand. You know this man is trash. This is what you are drawing a line in the sand over when this man was
Okay.
violent previously. But we're not going
Thank
to talk
you.
about that. We're not going to talk about that.
But here's my whole thing with her. And this is where she really just made me mad. This, like you said, this is your line in the sand. But the fact that he called you a snob, called you judgmental,
Mhm,
called you a hoe,
mhm,
said that you gave him the ick. That was
mhm.
no issue. And before that, he punched a hole in the wall and or door, right?
But
But like,
not only that, calling her that said that she gave her the ick. He took pillow talk between husband and wife and ran with it to the streets. That's a big
that
no
too.
no for me, bro.
So, but all that was okay, right? But this, him fulfilling the task, taking part in the challenge, That's where you draw your line.
But
Okay.
it was either one of the first two episodes or in one of these last two episodes for this week, right? Where Karina says, I have put up with so much of your emotional issues.
Last week.
She's seen the red flags.
Yeah,
But they all got paid. Because Karina went
exactly.
right down to Van Cleef and Arpels and Cartier to make purchases. How much is she getting paid? Is she getting paid more than the rest? Because Athena and Adrien only got the Van Cleef and Arpels of it all.
Well, she is living at home, so never mind.
Oh, well, she probably got leftovers from the boys in the band.
And there's nothing wrong with living
Um,
at home. There's nothing wrong with living at home, but she doesn't have like the responsibilities the other castmates have.
oh my gosh, that's true. Hi, Susan. Both are disappointments. Yes, they are. The ick should be a deal breaker for both. Yeah, she gave him the ick twice. He said it. She's judgmental, snobby. Yeah, like I wouldn't want to be with somebody who thought of me like that. But I still stay with Jamal though. No, just joking. I don't know. I think these last two episodes they had too much Karina and Paul for me.
Thank you. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm like to have them as the focus of your last two episodes. No,
But
because
I will say, Jackie, take note. Karina shedding those tears when she was saying he made her feel insecure and like she was whining about something. But when she shed the tears and they zoomed in on her face and the tears were just trickling down her face, I thought that was beautiful. Jackie, take notes. This is how you cry on TV.
but in fairness, though, Karina stays ready with the dramatics and the emotions. Though, let's be real. She stays. If you notice, she stays on ready with her emotions.
Mm-hmm. She
So
does.
I'm not mad at her at all. I'm not mad at her. But
Karina agrees too. They focus too much on them. Nobody likes them
because
like that.
it's not even that. It wasn't entertaining because it was the same argument over and over and over and over. And it was like, next, we got somebody else.
Yeah. So let's get on to the last three couples that'll be doing the final task. We see Jamie and Dave first. They separate them. Well, first they send them an envelope together to tell them that they're separating them. They go to different rooms, they get their individual envelopes, and they have to make the choice. You go to meet the other person that was also a match for you in the experiment. You have to decide whether you want to go or not. With Dave, he decided to stay his ass in the apartment. Jamie, on the other hand, was freaking hilarious. This could only happen to Jamie. This could
Okay,
only
but
happen
she's
to
funny.
Jamie.
But she said she's the only reason why she's going. She's like, I can't believe there was one match, let alone multiple. She's like, wow. So I want to know who these people are. I want to know them. She's like, I'm just a nosy bitch. I'm like, you know what, Jamie? Well, at least you're honest.
Yep. And when she said, I come from a family when we're sitting down to dinner and the neighbors are arguing next door, my father tells us to shut up. I'm a nosy bitch. I was like, oh my God. She is TV gold. She earned her keep this season. She
Like
more than earned her keep.
she was. If you're looking at the whole cast, she was the only one giving. Like
Yeah.
her and Jackie.
Oh my God. Regrettably, Jackie. Yes, I'll agree with you on that. But in all the wrong ways.
Yes.
But Jamie said, I'm not dressing up for him. He's not gonna think that this is a date. I'm putting on my Vans and I have on a black shirt and my jeans, and I'm trotting down there to go and meet this person. I need to know who this is. I'm not living with regrets. Good on you. I agree. Susan says Jackie's a nutcase. She's got some issues. That was funny about the father and the neighbors arguing. Yes! I was like, oh my god, do I do the same thing too?
I
Probably.
do. I do. Like when we lived in my grandmother's house. Oh, I would like I was watching YouTube. I would mute YouTube, pause, and listen so I could hear the neighbors. And they would give me like there was one summer they gave me plenty of entertainment because they were just going back and forth. Baby girl was I guess apparently baby girl was entertaining
Hmm.
when her other dude came by and he wanted to be let in and she wasn't letting him in. He tried to get in and she started screaming like, "Don't come in here! You can't come in here!" He told other dude, come on now, blah blah blah." She's like, "Why are you even here?" Blah 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 blah. So then she called the police. And that's when he ran and he jumped the fence into our yard. I'm like, okay, this is oh shit. He jumped the fence. How? I don't know. But he did. He came over the fence. Then he runs and goes and hops another fence. I'm like, okay. Then you hear her. No, he comes back again. She screams again for the police. He runs again. Then she follows him out to the main street, which is a block over, and you can hear them yelling in the street.
Oh my god.
And best believe I sat there for that whole hour with the lights off, everything still paused and muted, and I was listening to them argue in the streets.
I will admit I have turned down my TV or muted it in order to hear what was going on outside of my abode. I will say that. Dave's waiting on Veronica and Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah,
What, Marsha? Dave is not waiting on Veronica. He is not. And Jamie got stood up. She did. She went to that restaurant. She sat there having her drinks and waiting and waiting and waiting. Um, we see that it's 3:30 in the afternoon and she's still waiting for this dude to show up. Then someone from production comes up to her and said, "We just found out that we just received a call that he can't make it." And she says she's never been stood up before, and this is on TV. Yes, girl. Um, and she said that it makes her want to run to Dave. Aww. She made this whole ridiculous task so fun and laughable and not serious. Um, she gets back home to Dave, and he's like laughing with her. He's at one point he even said like, "I'm just gonna laugh at you a little bit longer, and then we'll just put it to bed, okay?" And she's like, "Okay." And I thought they and he. I think at one point in a confessional, he's like, "I trust her." And that's the key. It's the same thing with
hmm
Jeff and Ree. They had trust in each other. They liked the relationship that they had, and they didn't feel the need to find out about what ifs. And on the other hand, with Jamie, Dave knows her personality in the short time that they've been with her. And, she said curiosity kills the cat. She's going to want to go and see who this person is, not to go and dick them down.
right.
So he can trust in that it is purely curiosity for her. And she'll come back with a really funny joke for him. And he has nothing to worry about. Two different relationships, but basically the same foundation of trust. Um, that they were the funniest ones for me. Let's. Do you want to do Athena and Adrien?
They were draining and boring too because it was like you cannot get mad at him for doing the same thing you did. And the simple fact you sit up here in our face trying to play pretend like you didn't know he was gonna go on this date is beyond me. The moment she decided to go, she
Mm-hmm.
should just like you were both equal at that point, in my opinion. Like you're both going to see, what's going on. But my thing with her is this is where I have to hold Athena to task a little bit. You said you don't think this man is your forever partner, so that's why you're going on this date because you're not sure about him. You have a lot of doubts.
Mm-hmm.
How can you give him? How how does it make sense that you expect him not to go on the date? He's supposed to sit home
Mm-mm.
pining for you while you're going out to see what else is out there. That makes no sense to me, and that's where she lost me. Because
See, I
the whole
interpreted it differently because she had a real crisis deciding on to do what to do. And you saw it in her face
well, she's
because
been having a real, not to cut you off, but she's been having a real crisis about him since episode 12. So I'm not going to give her that grace anymore. But you can go ahead.
no, she's had a real crisis since episode 2 when they was on a
Okay,
honeymoon in the honesty box and she walked
true.
away. Her crisis started
Well,
then.
well, after the crisis started at the wedding reception, if we're gonna be really honest, when the beans were spilled about her having a child. So yeah, but but
Or at the ceremony when he said, I don't have no kids, and her face cracked.
no, he said, "Don't worry." He's all, "Don't worry, I don't have." It was the one he said, "Oh," he said, "Don't worry, I don't have any kids." And yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways we can go with this.
Yes. But
But
here's how I took when okay, so she was has been this entire season desperately putting under the rug the main root issues she knows are there with Adrien for the sake of some penis. She has been
yes,
doing that. And
hmm
now they're coming to the end. There's no more room under the rug. And that was her dilemma. So when she decided to go on that date or meet the other match, she knew that in that moment that Adrien was not for her. And it was hard for her to admit it, even though that she knew it long time ago. But she was
right,
on vacation. Because remember, at one point she stood there and she was like, um, it's hard being a mom. I work all week and then I want to spend time with my son on the weekends. I don't have, a babysitter to go out on dates because I want to be with my son. This was her one opportunity and she got stuck with Adrien. So then the
hmm
curiosity came in and said, who was this other possible match? So that was the final decision there. She says she's gonna go because she knows he's gonna go because she knows him. He never took the time to know her. So she
right,
goes and she sits down for like an hour or whatever with this guy, Tim, and she has such engaging conversation. Remember, she wants somebody to be interested in her. And he asked her about what she did for work, where she lives, asked about her son right off the bat. Like he was engaging. He wanted to know about her and was happy to get to
yes,
know her. She asked about, would you move like long distance? Like, would you move? For a partner? And he said, yeah, of course I would. And these are things that she has been trying to ask Adrien all of these weeks. And Adrien made it so difficult to even have the conversation, furthermore, give a response. And a stranger that she met an hour ago, 60 minutes ago, was able to engage her and give her honest answers. And it was refreshing for her. So she came back and then the guilt set in. So when he comes in and she's like, "Did you go on the date?" He said, "Yeah, it was nothing." He goes, "Did you go?" She said, "Yes." Cool, who cares? That's where
hmm
she got angry because she knows that they should be concerned that the other one, that each of them went on the date because that proves that there's something missing for each of them in this relationship that made them go and be curious about what is on the other side. But he could not care enough that she went on that date. He didn't give a rat's ass. And then on top of that, he sat there and told her, oh, she's just like you, except she lives in Sydney. Athena 2.0 or some bullshit he said to her.
Right.
And she's like, we failed this experiment. He's like, no, it was a task. She's like, you don't understand. We both failed. And I'm pissed that you don't care that I went to see who that person was. Because I care that you went to see who that person was. And all of these things are slowly pulling all of the issues out from under the rug that she has buried for 2 to 3 months, that she has suppressed. It's busting wide open now. There's no more ignoring who Adrien is. And I think that's why she was looking like a splotchy mess for 2 episodes and going deeper and deeper into herself. And she's realizing the more that she talks to Adrien, the more he says, what did she say? He says things in a way that he never answers the questions.
Right.
I felt bad for her. As much as she's been a fucking dingaling this whole season, she did not deserve this. And I blame the experts as well. Because a single mom, you shouldn't be playing around with a single mother with who you matching her with. And you could tell that Adrien is a bum. They could have really brought Tim on here
Yes.
and given her an opportunity for a good life with a good partner and a good stepdad for her son. This was criminal what they did to her.
True.
Thank you,
I think what it
Father.
was, I think what it is that they knew Tim wasn't gonna be good TV. That's why he got pushed to the wayside.
But sometimes, look, I know we watch this show for trash. I will be the first person to say I watch this show for trash. But honestly, we could have done with 2 good couples this season that had a shot at it. And I think that she could have had a shot with Tim.
Oh, Tim was great.
He was just what she needed. Because I
I'll be
feel like
completely
in the
honest.
relationship with her son's father, that she had been by herself. I feel like she got another baby daddy.
Mm.
And that's why her sister's so protective over that kid.
And the thing,
Um,
the thing with Tim, I really thought she might just leave the experiment and go with him, or ask for his number or something, because they had such good chemistry. But again, Athena's stigmatized, so like you said, she on vacation.
yeah, right now she's on vacation. But I think also going back home, getting her roots touched up and getting some fresh clothes and coming back to this, she got reminded that she has a child. As Marsha E says, he already decided on day one that it was a no for him because she has a child and she lives far away.
Yes.
Hi, Stephen. Caught up you. Oh, yay! Welcome, welcome. Um, and like that's how I interpreted their whole thing. And he does that on purpose to her to further agitate her. If he keeps on doing shit like that, one of these days, a woman is going to turn on him and it's going to end badly for him. Fuck around and find out, Adrien.
Agreed. Who next?
The next
Is it
one,
Jackie and Ryan?
yes.
Okay, this was hilarious to me because he goes. They both, of course, they're both going, right? We know that.
Hmm.
It was okay, starting with him. Like, he goes, he meets up with Vivian. She's very pretty. She's outgoing. I'm like, okay. And he was into her. I'm like, good job. But then he remembered the script and remembered the plan. He's like, okay, I can't be into her. I can't give her too much. And he said that, you
Hmm.
know. And so he was playing it close to the vest. I'm like, I get it. You trying to stick to the plan to get to the bonus. I understand that. So he was having himself a good time. Now flash over to Jackie. Jackie's loving her some what's his face? Roro, what his name is? I think it's
Rory, I
Rory.
think.
Rory.
Rory.
She's like he's tall, like he's like handsome, he's everything I wanted, and he's like. So she was vibing with him, and she had the nerve to ask him for his. She's like, before that, she's oh, I should be out of experiment in 10 days, so let's like exchange numbers so we can like stay in touch. I was like, you the best, Jackie. You was such a best. And I'm sitting here laughing, just laughing super hard because I'm looking at Ryan like Ryan, you sitting over here talking about her feelings and she deserves a chance and blah blah blah. And she's sitting over here plotting her next move for when you're out of there. Shut up. I laughed. I'm sorry, I did.
They were hysterical because Ryan actually felt that she would not do this because she wants him back so desperately.
Desperately.
Who is he in a relationship with?
Again, he's one of the delusional couples along with Paul and Karina. Like he's delusional. Like I don't know who he's been watching and. I was giving him props for standing up for himself a couple episodes ago, putting his foot down, and then he gives me this. Next,
Child, but the way how they edited this, right? You see Ryan before he goes on the date, he's talking to production. He says he thinks that after Jackie reads the same letter, she will be so scared. She's not going to want to meet the other person because she's scared of losing him. He doesn't want to hurt her, but he doesn't want to do a disservice to himself. Then they instantly cut the scene to Jackie at the fucking restaurant meeting Rory. I was like, well, damn. They listen, these two are fools. Let's
yes,
not kid ourselves. But production is helping to play along with them in the most amazing way possible. And
yes,
this is why I think they saved this season.
agreed. Remember, I said this last time that if these two had their own show, like a 30-minute show only, just to watch them go through the shenanigans of their day to day, I would watch that show. I would watch that show just to see like who gonna do what to who. Period. But within the context of Mavs, they're not entertaining to watch because it takes away from the other. Okay, let me put it this way: if there were more interesting characters besides Jamie on the show, we would be sick of them. But since they're
Mhm.
the only ones giving us anything content wise, we need them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's
Like
true.
like
It's
like
true.
if they
We
were
need
like if they
comedic
were
relief. We need comedic
yes.
relief. We need the super villain, and we need someone who's going to call everybody out.
Yes, if they were on any other season of Math, we would hate them because they're ridiculous. But since they're pretty much all we have, we'll
Well,
tolerate them.
I think because we tolerate them because there was no cheating scandal this year. But we always have a
True.
cheating
Yeah.
scandal.
Yes.
That takes the place of Jackie and Ryan's hijinks.
True.
Um, anything else with them?
Mm-mm.
Oh, when they're talking about their dates. And she doesn't even mention that she got the number. And she
Oh
tells
yes.
producers he never asked.
So it's okay.
Who? Oh my God. She is priceless. Um, but she also starts turning on the charm and saying that he's the most wonderful person in the world. And like, I think at one point she had a list, and he was like, "Oh my God, nothing good ever comes from one of your lists." But it was all these things blowing smoke up his ass. And then she asked him
Hmm.
to move back in. And wait, yeah, she did ask him to move back in it,
Yes.
because she was gonna do a spa and back massage for him or something. And I was like, and he agreed. Listen, if I didn't have medical insurance watching this show, I would be worried about how much I was going to pay for whiplash watching these two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how it happened. Oh my god. Um and at the end of the episode, we see Ree and Jeff decide to go on a romantic date together because they opted not to do the final test. And they reflect on their journey, and nobody cares. Or, no, let me rephrase that. I don't care. I don't care. Jeff and Ree are like, whatever. I remember
I
I was
mean,
invested in Cam and Jules, but I can't get invested
yeah,
with them because they keep on telling us, how they did it right, and
yes,
they're the perfect couple. They did it right. They took it slow. They did. Cam and Jules never did that.
no,
Never
but
did that,
also,
and
but uh,
they
but
never had a
also,
fight.
but Cam and Jules were also with the shits with the rest of the group either. They just weren't gonna get deep in the mud with it. That's why they were so. To me, that's why I love them because like they're a great story, but they weren't afraid to give their opinions when they felt like it. And who was gonna say something to them? Nobody.
Mm,
Jeff and
okay.
Reed don't have that. Like Jeff, okay, it was with
Mhm.
Jeff by himself without Reed. Jeff is funny. Jeff gives great commentary, and he be asking the questions. Like he don't
Yes.
care.
Hmm.
Reed tries to play like sweet, innocent, and nice, which is boring. To be
I
completely
think
honest,
when she dips her foot into the messy pool, she's not equipped to handle it, and she gets very
true.
anxious.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So Marsha wants to know, is Jackie an only child, or did her parents never say no to her? I thought I saw a sister at the beginning for the wedding.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, so she's not an only child. Maybe her parents didn't say no to her. Or maybe she just has a screw loose. I
Well, she was
don't know.
severely bullied. She was severely bullied in her teens, and she dove into self-help books. So, I mean, maybe the self-help books have turned her into this. I don't know.
Stephen, thank you so much. That is beautiful. The person in billing looking for the code for whiplash by drama. Child, yes, that would be me. Code blue. Um, okay, so that was the end of 35. On to episode 36. And it's the day after all of the final tests have been completed. Um, Paul is still whining in his apartment. Karina is in her apartment, still complaining. Um, she's forgiven him for other things that have happened throughout the experiment, and this was a big one for her. Do you know how many times I yelled at my screen, shut up?
Yeah. See, this is the problem I have with these two episodes. They were too focused on these two, and they brought really nothing. It was basically her being mad the whole time about the same thing, and him
Mm-hmm.
whining and crying about like how he didn't mean it and how he didn't understand. Like he can't believe that he didn't think about her feelings yet again.
Yeah.
So to me, this was just rinse, wash, repeat. For me, I just did not care. But unfortunately, if we're really honest, these two are pretty much the bulk of the episode with a little Athena and Adrian at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, let's get to that dinner party because it was mostly about Paul and Karina. Um, I want to ask you something though.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. We have to look at this. We have to look at this because let's just do a palate cleanser before we get into the stupidity of um of Paul and Karina. Look at these two idiots. This is at the beginning of the episode. He is talking to her, saying something, I guess, important, and she is blowing snot the whole time he is talking. And he just
Hmm.
continues to talk. These two are epic. I have no idea what he was saying because all I could hear was the snot coming out of her nose. You can't make this shit up. Well,
Mm-mm.
Jackie can, but
Right.
oh my God. Ah, okay, let me stop that. I do have other pictures because I want to ask your opinion about the dinner party. So
Okay.
we get the arrivals. Let's wait. Do I have the list of how they arrived? Yes. So first it's Rhea and Jeff, then Jamie and Dave, Athena and Adrien. And Athena walked in looking like somebody had hit her. Like she looked numb. She looked numb and vacant. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
look her normal self. Then we had Jackie and Ryan, and everybody was shocked that the two of them was coming in happy. Then we see Beth and TJ. Last, last up, Karina by herself with enough time to tell everybody what a bad person Paul is, and then
Right.
Paul comes in to be ignored. Oh my God. I She laid the seeds. She laid the groundwork. She gave her side of the story first, courtesy of production. She also dressed the part. She was dressed. This is the best that I've seen her for the season. She looked beautiful. She had the 1940s waves with long hair over one shoulder. The makeup was makeuping. The dress was bodying. I loved it from top to bottom. And she was letting him know, I'm too good for this. And I agree with her. I agree with her. Let him know what you're worth. Um, he put on all black with high waters and that stupid little piece of hair that falls down on his forehead. Um, he looked nice except for the length of his trousers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you want to go straight to the dinner?
We might as well because like the thing, the way this was set up,
Hmm.
it was all to get us to the table and to TJ saying, you know what, let's just let the cat out of the bag or the elephant in the room, blah blah
Hmm.
blah. What's
Hmm.
going on with y'all?
Yeah. And I'm glad he kicked it off. I wish he had this much insight in his own relationship. Him and Beth had some really good questions, and Jeff. I think they were leading the questions. Adrian was just holding his head in his hands because he could not believe what a tool this man was. I
Right.
wish they had put Karina with Adrian, to be honest.
Agreed.
Dave and Paul, no, Dave and Jeff were talking about Paul at one point, and Jeff was like, "It's not like it's his first, stuff up. It's like his third. It's like baseball. Three strikes, you're
Right.
out."
And I think what happened with the whole table is when he said, and they asked him like, "Why did you do this?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "I just wasn't thinking of her feelings." They
Mhm.
all just wanted to jump up and throw things at him, including the experts. They're like, "How could you not think of her feelings with what you've done to her in the past?" They're like, that makes no sense. Even they can make sense of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just weird. But he changed his story. He changed his story when he was talking about it. He was like, he kept to the curiosity thing,
Hmm.
but he said that it was awkward and he wanted to run away, and as soon as he got there he knew he made a mistake. He didn't never say that
No,
before to her.
but hold on,
He
and then
just
he also
kept on
remember
babbling about being curious.
and then he also said like all I did was talking about you. I'm like, where? What conversation were you at?
Yeah, well, she was asking about his wife.
Right.
She was asking about his wife. He forgot he had a wife, you know. Hold on. Let me see. I've got pictures that I've pulled up of this whole evening, and he just kept on digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and it wasn't making any sense. Like, When the story started changing, right? This is what I saw on her face. This is what I saw on her face when the story kept changing. And did you notice that she was looking around the table to 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 measure to measure if people were on her side or not?
I agree with that.
I was intrigued by everything that was going on. Intrigued. This boo boo kitty, this boo boo kitty, he just made a whole mess of everything. Hold on, let me look at this. He's just pathetic. Pathetic. I didn't believe anything he had to say. People were peppering him with questions, and he couldn't keep up. Like he didn't have a good excuse to begin with. And it's one thing to say curiosity got the best of you, but if you know your partner cannot handle that curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
put it away. Put it away. And she had a point. If you're so curious and doing this in the experiment, what's going to happen out in the real world? Hi, Deborah. It was, it, oh, uh. And she even brought up something about the experts holding him account on something, emotional intelligence. She
Yes.
said he got mad because they said he lacked emotional intelligence. And it's true. He didn't like that at all. He didn't like that at
The the
all.
truth. Well, the truth does hurt.
Then Beth wants everybody to pipe down and so she could ask Karina how she feels. I kind of zoned out. I kind
Yeah,
of zoned.
there wasn't much there to be completely honest.
But I will say, Karina was given face this whole dinner. This whole dinner. The face was on point.
But she was fed up.
Um,
She said she was embarrassed. That's what it was. I was like, well, you weren't embarrassed before, but you were embarrassed now. Okay, took you long enough, but you made it.
well, I guess she came on the show so that she could be the Cam and Jules perfect couple. But they paired her with this flat-headed fool. And then he had said something at the table that, oh, over the weekend, she said another thing that got her even angrier. Over the weekend, he sent her 3 texts. He never once came, he never once called, he didn't check to see how she was doing, nothing. And then in the car, he said, I brought her coffee and patisserie this morning, but she did not, she didn't care. Well, shit. Where were you over the weekend? You waited till this
Right.
morning? You think I want your fucking coffee and patisserie? I got a dress to fit into so that you could be salivating when you see that you don't got this no more. I could not believe he was saying that. How did you do this to her and you didn't once call or go by to check on her? And he said some foolish mumble foolishness about how if she wasn't answering the text messages, she wouldn't answer the call. Fuck, you should have been blowing up her phone, whether she answered it or not. Too many people have told Karina how gorgeous she is, which is why she couldn't spot Fool Paul. I think she did spot him, but
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to be on the show to collect the checks, and she has an agreement. She has I feel it. She has a contract with Endemol Shine and Channel 9 to push her career because she, other than face and body, She really has no personality. She really doesn't. But I guess they're giving her the shot. I think midway during the season, they realized she ain't that great because she couldn't go toe to toe with Paul. And that's when they did a contract with Jamie to promote her too. Hi, Scotland. Is it dinner time? What are you cooking? Is there enough for me? I want a plate. Paul reminds me of my ex. Run, Karina, run. Yeah. Yeah. Aw. Anything else here? There was some. Oh, Jeff. Jeff had some good questions. He wants to know, why did Paul go to meet with someone else? He then says, you didn't go out of your way, but what if you're at a bar? Yeah, because he said, why did you go to meet someone else? He says, because he was curious. He says, okay, so curious, whatever. You know, what if you're not going out of your way? What if you just happen to be at a bar and someone approaches you? What is curiosity going to do at that point? And Paul just couldn't answer. Oh my God. Then you see the experts chiming in saying, you were given a choice, which is true. They had a choice. No one forced them into this. The task wasn't, you have to go. The
Right.
task was, pick, go, or stay in the apartment. That was the task. And I think that's where Adrien failed too, because he said it was just a task. You had the choice to stay and you didn't. Let's see. Paul then had nerve to say that he thought that Karina was going to be a bit more receptive. He thought that she was going to mellow down if he left her alone, and that, she would be open to his little parlez-vous français, and she would have been back under his thumb. He does not know her. And then she
Agreed.
starts railing at him, saying, I brought you to my parents' home. We welcomed you into the family. My dad did this. My mom did this. All of these things. And I get it. You're hell of embarrassed because you took this man home. But girl, you
Mm-hmm.
should be hell of embarrassed for saying that you had sex with a rapper. Oh
Well,
my God. He's saying that he needs to do everything to reconnect with her. Ree had to speak up, her one verbal in the whole episode. But again, she said if it were her, she couldn't forgive him. That's another nail in the coffin. Paul is still apologizing. He's so sorry for what happened. He hopes that she's willing to move past it. Wrong thing to say.
mm-hmm.
Not when you do shit like this. Wrong thing to say, in my
I just want
opinion.
him to stop. I just want him to stop talking
Oh
because
my
he just keeps
God.
going worse and worse and worse. Like, dude,
It was it was damning. He did himself absolutely no favors. Karina says it's not enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to continuously be apologizing and saying, I'm sorry. It's not enough. She's not giving him any validation. He could have picked up the phone, but he didn't. He got reassurance from the boys by calling them. She found out he was calling the boys and not her. Surely you noticed by other fuck ups that you did that all. Oh my God. And she said all that she wanted was his affection. She wants him to try really hard to win her over. Why? Why?
exactly.
He thought she just didn't want to see him at all. Paul is an idiot. Paul, this is what Paul says, that I've been fully ghosted, and her mouth dropped open. And then we go back to the wedding ceremony where she's telling the producer that they went hiking in the morning. And then that evening, we didn't see this part originally. They were supposed to meet and go to dinner. And he ghosted her all in one day.
Mm.
I was like, what the hell? And then she asked him if he remembers how he ghosted her. She says that all of this is bringing back memories. She says he's not fucking consistent. She says it's making her feel like he's genuinely not interested in her family. She's so offended because he was in her family home the week before he came into and the week before he came into her home, the world was given to him, and now this week he's going on a date with the next woman. Oof. She says she can't wrap her head around it. Imagine if it's your sister's partner and that partner did this to your sister. How would he feel? Do he have a sister? Oh my God. I know I saw a brother. I don't remember a sister. Wait, we did see some extra family. He does have a brother and sister in it. At when they went to a restaurant, it wasn't the homestays. They had a family like when oh my God. It was when Adrien and his sisters ganged up on Athena during that
Oh,
test.
wasn't Homestays, was it?
No, no, it was the first meeting of the family,
Oh,
Friends and Families Week.
Friends and
That's
Family, Friends and Family. Yeah.
yes. Paul says he guessed he got what he deserved. He looks like he's gonna cry at the table, but he can't squeeze out no tears either. And everyone's looking at him like, what's wrong? And Jackie leans over and says, it's gonna be okay.
A mess.
Oh my God, Jackie, you're a good person. You just did something wrong. He has a sister. Thank you, Farmata. Then we're done with them. And Rhea and Jeff say that they're stronger than ever. And then we get to Jackie and Ryan's relationship. What happened? How are they happy?
Delusional.
Oh my God. Let's see. Jamie actually says that they are one of the best couples in this experiment.
Yeah, and when she said they have the best relationship, I screamed. I couldn't help it.
They tell the table that they both went on the dates, and Jeff asks what was the reason behind going on the dates. And Jackie gives this long diatribe on wanting to ensure that she was making the right decision and like it was a bunch of like verbal diarrhea. She couldn't make the wedding. Yes, thank you. Right, that's true. That's true. It was the first time that Karina got to meet his sister. Thanks. Um she says, okay, so what was it that she said? She wanted to make sure she was making the best decision possible. They're pushing the boundaries of marriage. They've gone through some ups and downs. Then Jeff says he wants to know if it's brought them closer together. She says that she's put her whole heart into this experiment, and Ryan is one of the most strongest and most attractive men she's ever met. And Ryan is sitting there like a Hoover, sucking this up. He's smiling. And I think Jamie at that point says, well, someone's getting laid tonight. I don't know. Then we move over to Beth and TJ. I don't know why they're still moaning. about no connection,
Hello?
why they went on the dates. They should not have shown up to this dinner. This was a waste of time for me. And Jamie even says it. She doesn't Oh, Jamal fell away. Hopefully he'll come back soon. Jamie says she doesn't understand why they walked into the dinner party together. She would not have done that. She says that this man has failed you, and walk in by yourself will make a statement. And it's true. I don't know why she is still considering his feelings. Next up is Adrien and Athena. Did y'all see Athena's face at this dinner party? Hold on. Hey there.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Um, I'm done with Beth and TJ. What do you think about Adrien and Athena?
I think nothing.
You think nothing?
I don't 15, 12, 13, 19 weeks.
Well, at the dinner party, he can't figure out why he's the bad guy for he's well no, before the dinner party he has the talking head. He can't figure out why he's the bad guy. He's taking accountability many times, but this is absolutely one of those times. It's not his fault. At the dinner party, Athena says that this is where she has said that he uses language to avoid answering the question. Um, she tells the table that they both did the challenge, and that they both failed. He then says something like, every time she gets angry, she does this, like he's putting it on her, like a deflection. Um, and she's not backing down this time. Hold on. Yes, every time that she's angry, she comes at him like this. And she says, I'm not entertaining you right now. I just don't care. Um, Athena says that Adrien didn't ask about her son until halfway through the experiment. He didn't ask about her job until 3 weeks in. She says that Tim asked her all those questions within their first meeting. I think that was before the dinner. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, that was before the
At
dinner,
the
right?
dinner, yeah, at the dinner, she says it's hard to see Jackie and Ryan succeeding, and she's failed at her relationship. So she's taking this all on herself. And her face was so splotchy and red and swollen from crying. I felt so bad for her. I really did. Adrien is oblivious to her distress. She will cut him off at final. You think so? Wait, who, Scotland? Is it Jackie or Athena?
Jackie, because Jackie said no one leaves her, she leaves them.
Oh, very good point. Very good point. All right. Let's see. He's just having a good time. Um, this is when Adrien stands up in a talking head and says he's saying it here right now that Jackie and Ryan are going to stay together after the experiment. I I'm so glad that that was proven wrong. Um,
Exactly.
Ryan asks Adrien about his date. He says that they have things in common. She's like Athena, but she lives in Sydney. Adrien is going on about the date until Adrien says that going on the date was great. Um, but it made him realize that the long distance is going to be the hardest challenge for him. He feels pressure to make that move to Perth. He's not sure how long he'll be able to do long distance. Um, Someone asked him if he's questioning his feelings for Athena. He says no. And at that point, she actually looked like she was believing what he was saying. She started smiling and all of that. Um, then he says, am I going to pack my bags up tomorrow and leave? No. And then she's so confused by what he's saying. She says when she voices her concerns, he tries to brush them under the rug. She is physically attracted to him. Does she have doubts regarding the long distance relationship? Yes. Now he's saying that him and Athena fucked it up. Oh my god. Um, she says she was the one who was questioning it, and he didn't seem like he was caring enough about it. Um, she feels like he skirted around everything, and she regrets going on that date. She says long distance seems unachievable right now. Adrien says he feels pressured, that she wants an answer from him that he can't give her right now. Um, she's saying that his language today is different from the other day. So he switched back off of you. Athena, he doesn't want you. He never
Nope.
has. He says he doesn't see himself moving right now, and he said it from the start, which is true.
He's been like, let's we can put a lot on him, but he has been consistent in his stance. So none of this should be a shock to Athena, which is why I don't have any sympathy for her because she keeps putting herself in this position.
Well, Adrien says and this is another thing that he has said previously that has hurt her. He sees himself moving for the right person. The right person.
Hmm.
Athena, that tells you everything. You're not the right person.
And she knows that because she voiced that.
So I think she says, let's not hide behind the challenge. She's not the right person. Just say it. Um, he asks Athena if she will move to Sydney. She says, absolutely fucking not. And he says, there you go. She says, do you see any point in going to the final vows? And he tells her, no. What the hell? I love when they implode at this final dinner.
It is amazing theater.
They do a close up on her face. It is so red and swollen. Her hair is a mess. And she had on a really cute outfit tonight. She really did. Um, she looks like she's getting ready to cry. She says that she doesn't want to be there wasting her time anymore. He says, well, go. And that stops the table. That's the real Adrien right there. That's what she's been dealing with. And she needs to feel this. I agree with you on that. She needs to feel this. The women at the table are shocked. Athena gets up and leaves. Adrien could care less. He's continuing having his dinner. Jamie goes after her. Athena, again, she's out there. She's like, she would have loved a little bit more assurance from her partner to see if he would have stepped up to the plate just one time. If you have to say that, then that's not your partner.
Exactly.
And the rest of the cast, they're still speculating over what's going on between Paul and Karina. Um, let's see. Oh my God, my last note is I don't remember Cam and Jules bragging so much about how successful they've been at the experiment when they were on their season. Rhea and Jeff are continuously bragging about how good they've done it. It's almost feeling fake now. Ooh.
I can't disagree with that. It's just boring. Like just be happy, successful, and let the other people tell you're successful. When you do it on your own, it just doesn't ring true.
Adrien didn't do the other task. Yes. Like at one point, I really was believing the rumors that he didn't know how to read, but they made his dumbass read that envelope this time, though. Um, I think he's just spoiled, meaning Adrien. I think he's just spoiled. I think he's had women, indulge his flights of fancy of being this like really great, awesome catch. Um, but in truth and fact, he's just a thick tongued son of a bitch. And Athena, I think you really needed to learn this lesson from him. Let's hope it sticks this time because I don't think it stuck the first time. Um, and that's it, y'all. Those are the two episodes. What did y'all think? What do y'all think about what's going on with Karina and Paul? And then what do y'all think is going on with Athena and Adrien? Because Jamal and I disagree on how we see the fallout from going on the dates. So let us know in the comment section if you've lasted this long through the episode, but you probably haven't. But leave a comment and let us know what you think. Jamal, any final thoughts on this episode?
No, it's waiting for. I was looking forward to see what happens next week. You know, we probably kind of already know what's gonna happen.
Well, we're getting our final vows. Everybody dresses up all real nice and pretty, as if they're getting married again, sort of, considering they've never been legally married to begin with. It'll be a fashion show. That's all I
I'm looking
see of
for.
it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. See what kind of dresses the women wear.
Remember last season? Like they had really nice locations and great
Yes.
camera shots. Remember the overhead shot with Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and Tim? Oh, there was a lot of great cinematography for those final vows last season. Can you tell what I look forward to? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. You already know that I didn't watch the homework. Ah, it's okay. Don't worry. We all fail, homework sometimes. Hey, Sarf2, welcome. Okay, so Jamal and I were talking about some new shows. So we have Sister Wives coming back. Is it the 20th of April, Jamal?
I believe so.
Okay. And this is going away soon. What else are we? Love Hotel was one of the things we were looking at.
Love Hotel and The Real Housewives of Atlanta was the other one.
Oh, have you been watching it?
I think okay. So I watched the first episode. I'm like, okay. I'm getting it. Um, and I've been watching clips, but I haven't watched the second episode yet or third. But based on what I'm seeing on the Instagrams and the Twitters, it's like people. It's a very a mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag. But my thing with Atlanta is this. You can see a stark difference between the OGs, the people who've done this for years, versus these newbies.
Yeah.
You can just really see the difference. It's like it's like the newbies, y'all trying to just do too much, have a moment, and it's not working. Drew's still lying, and Ralph was in the basement. So I'm just interested in that part.
But we don't really see him. Like we hear more about him, like, on Instagram saying that he's threatening to sue her for saying that
Right.
he was court ordered to the basement. But we don't really see him. We see the stairs.
True.
I don't know. I watched the first two episodes, and I'm going to be very honest. Portia came back thinking she was going to be
Hmm.
the center peach holder, and she's
Right.
not. Look at their promotion picture. She is sitting down.
Hmm.
And Shami, what's her name? Shamia?
Uh huh.
Shamia? Shamia? She
Shamia.
is standing over her, and the image looks like they're pushing Shamia forward. Shamia is actually leaning forward before Portia. And you know that those photos mean everything because the person in the center is who the cast revolves around.
Well, Shamia said that when she was introducing how she knew everyone, and she straight up said she's like, and in this friend group, I am the glue. That tells
But
you
again,
right there.
I don't think Portia could never be the person that holds the group together because she's too bad-minded and too mean-spirited. Um, Shamia is gold, and she's the perfect replacement for Candy, who once was that person because she knew everybody because of the industry she was in, and she had the money. So Shamia is perfect with was it Sterling Manor and
Hmm.
the money, the kids, the house, the jewelry, the cars, and that is why Portia is and her relationship is no longer happening because everything that Portia thought she was coming back as with Simon
Hmm.
has fallen away, and now she got to stand up and look at this other girl who's supposed to be her little tag along, not her friend, her tag along, and seeing that this woman has what she was trying to get: a husband who loves her, a husband with a lot of money that spends it all on her, and kids and family and like happiness. And she cannot be happy for Shamia. And finally, Shamia is noticing that because Shamia should have never spoken to her after she fucked up going to her wedding.
Well,
I would have been done with her, especially when Candy would have came to Africa and said there were seats on the plane.
that was hilarious to me.
She said there was seats on the plane, and that hurt Shamia. But Shamia's a good friend. Unfortunately, you pick bad friends, Shamia. It's not gonna look good. And then they're only like Kenya's getting phased out because she's been edited down so much. Um, she's gonna be phased out, and they bring not Portia, Phaedra in the last episodes. What's that about? What is that about? Um, Hold on. I missed some of your comments. Y'all are the best part of the show. Anyway, oh, thank you, Steven. They're over Paul and Karina. Yeah. Athena ends up with Billy. Wait. I saw Billy with
Karina.
Karina. Billy is making the rounds. They were even saying that Billy and Dave was together. Who said that? Somebody
Bessie.
messy on the show said that Billy and Dave were together. I don't see that. Anyway, that's like based on the two episodes that I saw. Um, I was not thrilled by it. It didn't. It didn't inspire me to want to say, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Real Housewives of Atlanta over 90 day live." You know when it airs,
Hmm.
and that's very telling. And their ratings are tanking. They're going down episode by episode. Something shady. Phaedra is shady, in my opinion. She is. She is. But I don't think it'll help. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll help. And I'm of the opinion that I don't think bringing back Nene will help either. Did you watch her talk show on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
It was an hour that I will never get back.
Wow. That bad?
Yeah, it was her. Her first guest was Carlos King because he was repaying the favor because she was on his show.
Hmm.
And as you know, she has this show because she was doing something with, oh my God, the girl from Love and Hip Hop, um, Atlanta, that had the hair salon. I can't
Oh,
remember the name.
Sierra.
Yes, and that kind of fell apart real quick.
Yeah, it did. It really did, though.
It imploded. So they said, well, let's just do Nene because she knows how to show up for call time. And I watched the first episode. Again, an hour I'm never going to get back of my, rapidly dwindling life. I'm glad I didn't waste the hour. I was nosy. I was nosy and I couldn't find my remote control.
There it is. There's the truth. Thank you. I was waiting for something like, you don't waste time. So what happened?
No, I was nosy to turn it on in the first place because it came up in my not preferred,
Recommended.
recommended. Yes, it came up in my recommended. And I said, "Oh, okay." And I clicked on it through the remote and went and did something and came back and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, "Well, where's the remote? Where's the remote?" I couldn't find the remote. Oh my god. So I just sat there and I watched. And then when I changed the bed, I found the remote. But that's my tragic life. I do recommend don't take my advice at all. Judge for yourselves. Nene does have her moments, but I don't know if it was Carlos King plus Nene that it was just a little overload for me. They were talking about their times back on Real Housewives of Atlanta as he came up the ranks in the production company. I was hoping somebody was going to ask about his part in the Phaedra, Portia, Candy debacle, and that was what, season 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody asked that. So again, that is why basically it was a waste of time for me. If you're going to talk about the good times, we should talk about the bad times too.
Hmm.
All right, guys. This is it for this week for us. We are ending the week early. You guys have a wonderful weekend and see us back here next week. We might have some pop-up shows if the schedule permits. Okay? Jamal, final thoughts? Anything?
This is the mask. It's not the best, you know, but it's okay. Like, I hope next year they give us better characters and who last longer and do more. As far as Atlanta, I'm gonna watch it just to get a feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do like Shamia. I'm sad that Kenya's not going to be there 'cause I think Kenya's needed. Based on what I've seen of the clips and of the first episode, Kenya's needed. Um, Without her, I'm not sure how the season survives because without Kenya, it's going to be basically them talking about Kenya and the demise of Portia and Shamia's friendship.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So that's where I'm at right now.
The season is lacking though, and it's because they've edited out a lot of Kenya scenes. Like you'll see Kenya just sitting there looking,
Hmm.
or asking a few questions. Like in the first episode, it was Kenya and Drew, and she was being told information by Drew. Then the second episode was Kenya and Portia, and Portia's telling her all of the juice. Like I'm used to her causing the ruckus, but again, that's why she got in trouble.
Hmm.
So yeah, she should be phased out soon. And I heard that it's an even shorter season because we used to those 20 something episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get 10. So good luck to them. When does season 13 start? Next, if that's Maps Australia, next January. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Deborah Bess. I know this is late for you in the UK, so thank you so much. And to you too, Farmata, we really appreciate it. Jamal, until next time,
Of course.
bye, everybody.